My boss likes to dress me up as a girl. I'm so screwed. My first day at a high-paying job, the one that could finally get me out of my massive financial mess, and I'm running late. I rush through the doors of Aubrey Sinclair's fashion house, my heart hammering in my chest. The place is sleek, expensive, and way out of my league. Everything smells like fresh leather and something cold and clean, like expensive cologne. I barely have time to take it in before I stumble into the elevator, jamming the button for the top floor. Don't screw this up, Jamie. By the time I reach the studio, I'm out of breath. Pushing open the heavy door, I find him, Aubrey Sinclair. And shit, the rumors didn't do him justice. Tall, sharp black hair swept back in a way that looks effortless, but definitely isn't. He's wearing a perfectly tailored black suit, one hand in his pocket, the other adjusting the collar of a mannequin. His green eyes are locked on the dress in front of him, his expression unreadable. I clear my throat. Hi. Good morning. I'm Jamie Carter, your new assistant. Sorry I'm late. It won't happen again. Nothing. Not even a glance in my direction. Cool. I shift awkwardly, waiting for some kind of response, but he's completely focused on the dress in front of him, tilting his head like he's judging whether it deserves to exist. Before I can decide if I should repeat myself, the door swings open and a group of models files in, followed by a stressed-out looking manager. All look flawless. High cheekbones, sharp features, of them tall and impossibly poised. Aubrey finally acknowledges them, his gaze sweeping over each model with an intensity that makes my stomach twist, and not in a good way. Then suddenly,
Do you know the meaning of androgynous?
Aubrey snaps at the manager, his voice like ice. The poor guy stammers, but Aubrey isn't listening. He exhales sharply, irritated, then gestures at the models with a flick of his finger.
None of them fit the standard.
And then, he turns to me.
You.
I freeze. Wait, me? His gaze drags over me, assessing, calculating. Before I can react, he strides forward and presses a hand against my chest. Firm, impersonal, like I'm some kind of mannequin.
This,
He says to the manager, tapping my chest lightly before stepping back.
finding models with this kind of beauty.
I blink. My brain short-circuits. Did he just... I have no idea if I should be offended or flattered. 2 days later. The first thing I learned about working for Aubrey Sinclair? The man survives on caffeine and rage. It's barely 6 a.m. and I'm already running. I've got 3 different coffees in my hands because apparently he changes his mind every morning about what he wants. Almond milk latte? Black espresso? Some bogey oat milk nonsense? No one knows and I'm not about to ask. I practically body slammed the studio door open, trying not to spill anything. Aubrey's already inside, pacing, deep in thought, surrounded by fabric swatches and dress sketches. He's wearing his usual all-black ensemble, looking like he stepped out of a high-fashion funeral. I clear my throat. Got your coffee? He doesn't even look up.
Which one?
I glance at the cups. All of them? He finally turns, taking a sip from one cup, then another. He frowns, then, without warning, hands me one back.
Too sweet. Fix it.
I stare at him. Fix it? How do you fix a coffee? But he's already ignoring me, his focus back on some sketch, muttering something about the way fabric falls on the body. I inhale. Do not quit, Jamie. The paycheck is too good. Chug the rejected coffee out of spite. Grab his coat from where he flung it over a mannequin like a psychopath, and head out to get him a new drink. A week later, I don't remember what sleep feels like. It's 2 a.m. and I'm still at the studio, hunched over a mountain of fabric samples, trying to organize them by whatever chaotic secret method Aubrey uses. Every time I think I have it figured out, I find another random pile labeled something insane like acceptable only under dramatic lighting. Across the room, Aubrey's sketching furiously, looking just as sharp and put together as he did 15 hours ago. I, on the other hand, have reached gremlin mode. My shirt is wrinkled, my hair is a mess, and I'm one minor inconvenience away from losing my mind. Aubrey, do you sleep, or is that like beneath you? I mutter, rubbing my eyes. He doesn't even look up.
Sleep is irrelevant.
I stare at him. Okay, cool. That's terrifying. He finally glances at me, arching a perfect eyebrow. You're still here? I blink. You told me to stay! A pause. Then he hums like he barely remembers. Ah, right. I drop my head onto the table. This paycheck better be worth it. A month later. At this point, I've gotten used to the madness. Late nights, the impossible standards, the way Aubrey barely acknowledges my existence unless I'm holding fabric samples or his third cup of coffee for the day. So when he hates the new lineup of models just as much as the last batch, I'm not even surprised. We're in the main studio, and the models are lined up like some kind of high-fashion police lineup. Aubrey stands in front of them, arms crossed, his expression colder than usual, which is saying a lot. He exhales sharply, like this is physically hurting him. No. The casting director stares. No? Aubrey gestures vaguely at the models. They're all wrong. Again. I press my lips together, trying not to look at the models, because I swear some of them flinch when Aubrey speaks. The man has that effect on people. The casting director opens his mouth, then seems to think better of arguing. I can find more. Aubrey cuts him off with a sharp look, then turns to me. You, he says, pointing. I blink. Me? Put this on. Before I can process what's happening, a dress is shoved into my hands. It's beautiful. Midnight blue, sheer fabric, intricate embroidery. Definitely not something I ever pictured myself wearing. But also, damn, it's gorgeous. I glance back at Aubrey, expecting some kind of explanation, but he's already waiting, watching. You want me to... I gesture to the dress. Right on, he says, like it's the most obvious thing in the world. Now, I hesitate. But why not? It's not like I have dignity left at this point. I grab the dress and disappear into the dressing room. A few minutes later, when I step out, everything changes. The studio is quiet. Too quiet. Aubrey is standing there, hands in his pockets, gaze locked onto me. But something is different. I feel the weight of his stare like a physical touch. It's slow, deliberate, his sharp green eyes tracing over every inch of me. It's not the usual critical, calculating look he gives his models. It's something else. I shift under his gaze. So, what do you think? Aubrey doesn't respond right away. His lips part, but no words come out at first. He takes a step forward, like he's seeing me for the first time. The back of his fingers brushes against the fabric at my shoulder. Just barely. The touch is light. Too light. But it sends a shiver down my spine anyway. Perfect, he murmurs, almost to himself. And for the first time since I started this job, I have no idea if he's talking about the dress. 2 weeks later. At first, it's just practical. Just part of the job. At least that's what I tell myself when Aubrey's hands are on me. Hold still, he murmurs, stepping in close. Too close. His fingers skim over my waist as he adjusts the fabric of the blouse I'm wearing. Something soft and sheer that clings to my skin in ways I'm trying not to think about. I'm standing in front of the studio's floor-length mirror, watching as he works. He's focused, his brows drawn together in that intense, nothing else exists but this way of his. But it's not just about the clothes anymore. Not when he lingers, not when his fingertips drag just a little too slow over my collarbone as he adjusts the neckline. Not when his breath brushes my cheek as he leans in to fix the delicate buttons along my wrist. I swallow hard. You have other assistants, you know. Aubrey hums, distracted. None that fit the designs like you do. That shouldn't make my stomach flip, but it does. His hands slide lower, too low, to smooth the fabric over my hips. I exhale, my pulse hammering. Okay, this is fine. This is normal. This is not making my head spin. And then, his thumbs just barely skims my waist. I tense. He notices. Her eyes meet in the mirror. And for a second, just a second, there's something dangerous in his gaze. Over a week later, I don't know how we got here. 1 second I'm walking into the studio for work. The next, I'm standing in front of Aubrey in nothing but a slip of silk and nerves. He holds up a sheer piece of fabric, studying it like it holds the secrets of the universe. Then, with zero warning, he steps forward and presses it against my skin, directly. I inhale sharply. What? Shh. His voice is too soft, too careful. His fingers skim my shoulder as he adjusts the material, eyes locked on mine. Let me see. Let him see? Okay, I'm pretty sure he's already seeing too much. The fabric is delicate, almost weightless. His touch is the opposite. Deliberate, certain, like he already knows it won't stop him. I should step back. I should say something. But I don't. Aubrey's fingers brush my ribs, tracing the line of the fabric, and I swear my lungs stop working. His touch lingers, thumb resting just barely against my side. It's nothing. It's everything. You wear silk well, he murmurs, stepping back. But not before his fingers drag slowly, deliberately down my arm. I let out a shaky breath, and he smirks, like he knows exactly what he's doing to me. 3 days later. You expect me to wear this? Aubrey doesn't look up from where he's arranging delicate black lace over the work table. Yes. I stare at the lingerie set. It's intricate, expensive. There's zero chance I can wear it and feel like this is still just work. I cross my arms, and if I say no, Aubrey finally looks at me. His green eyes are dark, unreadable. Then slowly, he picks up the lace and walks over. Purposeful, dangerous. I swallow. My throat is dry. He stops right in front of me, so close I can smell his cologne. Something expensive, something sharp. Then, he holds the fabric up against my chest, his fingers skimming my collarbone. His voice is lower when he speaks. Why would you? I can't breathe. His fingers trail down, just barely brushing over my stomach. Not touching, but almost. Enough to make me ache. He leans in, his breath warm against my skin. Try it on, he murmurs. For me. And that's it. That's the moment I realize I'm already in too deep. 3 days later. I should have known it was coming. I've been avoiding the fittings, making excuses, staying late to handle actual assistant duties, instead of letting Aubrey wrap me in silk and lace and stare at me like I'm something worth devouring. But tonight, he finally calls me out. I'm standing in his office, hands in my pockets, trying not to let my nerves show. I think it's best if I just stick to my job as your assistant, I say, keeping my voice casual. You know, scheduling, coffee runs, keeping you from committing fashion-related homicide. Aubrey leans back in his chair, fingers steepled. His green eyes flick over me, slow and calculating. You don't want to model anymore? I nod. Exactly. He hums, tilting his head. Is it the work? His voice is smooth, measured. Or is it me? My stomach tightens. Busted. I open my mouth, ready to deny it, but then he moves. He stands, stepping around the desk, closing the space between us in 3 slow strides. I hold my ground, my pulse a riot. I could pay you, he says, voice soft but sharp. Not just to wear the clothes, but to play the role. Completely. I blink. Play the role? He lifts a brow. Be my muse. My inspiration. Let me dress you. Style you. Keep you. Keep me? The words sink into my skin like heat. I should be offended. I should be walking out. But I just stand there, heartbeat hammering. How much? I ask, my voice rougher than I meant it to be. A slow smirk curves his lips. More than you've ever made in your life. My breath ssts. Of course, he continues, stepping even closer. Too close. Too warm. Too much. I'd expect your full cooperation. No hesitation. No backing out. His hand lifts, almost touching, but he stops just short of my jaw. You'd be mine, he murmurs. I shouldn't want this. I shouldn't find my skin burning where his gaze lingers. Shouldn't find my pulse skip at the promise in his words. But I do. God help me, I do. A week later, I tell myself it's just business. It's money, Jamie. It's a job. So what if I spend my nights draped in silk, standing in front of Aubrey while he studies me like a painting he's desperate to ruin? So what if his hands linger too long when he adjusts the fit of a dress? So what if, right now, he's watching me with that look? That hungry, ruined, all-consuming look. Like I'm something he can't quite believe is real. I exhale, shifting under the weight of his stare. You're doing it again. Aubrey lifts a brow. Doing what? Looking at me like that. He steps closer. Like what? I open my mouth, but I don't have an answer. Because I don't know what this is. I don't know what it means when he watches me like I'm the most fascinating thing he's ever seen. When his fingers skim my wrist as he adjusts a bracelet that doesn't need adjusting. I don't know what it means when his voice drops. Soft, dangerous, as he murmurs,
Do you know what makes you so captivating, Jamie?
my breath catches. He lifts a hand, fingers hovering just inches from my jaw. I should step back. I don't. Aubrey's lips curve in the barest hint of a smirk, but his eyes are something else. Something dark. Something dangerous.
You don't even realize it.
He says, his voice like silk and sin. And God help me, I want to believe him. 2 weeks later, it happens in slow motion. A late night fitting. The city lights bleeding through the studio windows. The absolute silence stretching between us as Aubrey kneels in front of me, adjusting the hem of a sheer black slip against my thigh. His hands are steady, careful, but his eyes are anything but. I swear, if he looks at me like that one more time, I'm going to fall apart.
Jamie,
He murmurs, fingers ghosting against my skin. I suck in a deep breath. Yeah, his gaze drags up my body, slow and deliberate, and then his hands move. Not just to adjust the fabric, not just for the sake of the fitting. His fingers trace a path over my hip, along my waist, up, slow, reverent, claiming. I freeze. My lungs refuse to work. Aubrey tilts his head, watching me with dangerous curiosity.
still in business?
I should say yes. I should laugh it off. But I can't. Because there's nothing professional about the way my body leans into his touch. About the way his hands feel against my skin. About the way his lips part. Just barely. Like he's imagining what I'd taste like if he kissed me. I feel lightheaded. Like I'm standing at the edge of something I shouldn't want. Aubrey shifts, pressing just a little closer. His breath skims my skin.
Say the words, Jamie.
He murmurs. I don't even know what I'd be saying yes to. All I know is I want to. A month later, I shouldn't be doing this. I know exactly what I'm doing, and I shouldn't be doing it. But Aubrey, he never loses control. Never flinches, never breaks. And I just want to see. So I push. Just a little. Just enough. It starts when I walk into the studio, wearing the shortest, most obscene piece from his latest collection. A slip of fabric that clings in all the right places. Lace teasing over my thighs, straps sliding off my shoulders like an invitation. Aubrey notices immediately. He's at his desk, sketching, but the second I step in, his pencil stills. His gaze lifts, and suddenly, the air is thick. I don't say anything, just shift my weight, letting the soft fabric slide against my skin, dragging a hand down my hip slowly, teasingly. His eyes darken. Interesting. You like this one? I ask, all innocence. Aubrey doesn't answer right away, just watches me, jaw tight, fingers curling against the desk.
You know I do.
I step closer. You sure? I don't know if it really fits the concept. His eyes flick to my hand as I toy with the hem, lifting it just a little. I swear I hear his breath hitch. Then, he moves. 1 second he's across the room, the next he's in front of me, crowding into my space, taking up all the air. I freeze, heart hammering. Aubrey lifts a hand, brushing his thumb over my bare shoulders. His touch is light, deliberate, but his eyes are something else.
Don't play games with me, Jamie.
He murmurs. My pulse skips. Who's playing? His jaw clenches. His hand tightens just slightly against my skin. And then, I see it. A crack in the ice, a flicker of something raw and real beneath the control. Because this isn't about the clothes anymore. It's about me.
You think I don't know what you're doing?
His voice is low, dangerous. I swallow hard. And what am I doing? His fingers skim my waist, tracing the edge of the fabric, sending heat curling down my spine.
Seeing how far you can push me.
I don't answer. Because, yeah, Aubrey exhales sharply, shaking his head. You want to know how far I'll go, Jamie? His grip tightens, possessive, claiming. Try me. And suddenly, I don't know who's testing who anymore. 3 days later, it happens in the quiet moments. Not when I'm in lace, not when I'm dressed up playing the part he created for me, but when I'm just me. It's late. Too late. Another night where we both stayed past reason. The studio dimly lit, city lights spilling through the window. I'm not in anything extravagant, just sweatpants and a loose tee. My hair an absolute mess because I stopped caring hours ago. Aubrey's on the couch, sketchbook in his lap, but he's not drawing. He's watching me. I glance up from my laptop. What? He blinks, like he hadn't realized he was staring. Nothing. I snort. Yeah, okay. He doesn't look away. Doesn't shift back into that carefully controlled, unreadable version of himself. Just sits there, watching me with something different. Something softer. It throws me off. I put my laptop down. Seriously, what? Aubrey hesitates, like he's debating saying whatever's on his mind, and then, quietly, almost too softly, you don't have to dress up for me, you know? My chest tightens. I force a smirk. That's literally part of our deal. That's not what I mean. His voice is steady, calm, but there's a weight to it. Something too real, too honest. I swallow. What do you mean? Aubrey leans forward, resting his forearms on his knees. I mean, I like you like this too. I feel my breath catch. Because he's not looking at me like he wants to see me in silk or lace. He's not studying me like I'm some kind of masterpiece he wants to craft. He's just looking at me. Messy, tired, unpolished, and he still wants me. A nervous laugh slips out. Wow, so you're saying you like me even when I look like an absolute gremlin? Aubrey's lips twitch into a small smirk, but his eyes stay serious. I'm saying, I like you, Jamie. Not just the way I look, not just the fantasy, me. I don't know what to say to that, because suddenly, this arrangement doesn't feel like an arrangement at all. 3 days later. I should have known it was too good to last. 1 second it's just us, Aubrey and me, tucked into the dim glow of a car outside the studio. His hand warm on my thigh, his lips brushing against mine in a kiss that feels too damn real. Next, the world crashes in. Flashes, dozens of them, bright, blinding, too close. The shouting starts immediately. A chaotic roar of voices cutting through the night. Aubrey Sinclair, who's your mystery date? Sinclair's secret lover, who is he? Is this your latest muse or something more? I barely have time to process before Aubrey jerks back, his entire body going rigid. For the first time since I've known him, his composure cracks. Just for a second, but enough. Oh shit. He's already moving, barking at the driver. Go, now. The car lurches forward, but the cameras don't stop. Neither do the voices. Some reporters run alongside the vehicle, desperate for another shot. My name isn't even in the headlines yet, and I can already feel my life splitting open at the seams. Aubrey's grip on my hands tighten, too tight. Don't let go, he mutters, low and fierce. I don't know if he's talking to the driver or me. I don't let go, not yet. But as the city blurs past the tinted windows, as I watch his hands clench into white-knuckled fists, his jaw locking like he's bracing for a war, dread crawls up my spine. Because this isn't just bad. This isn't just scandalous. This could ruin him. Aubrey Sinclair, the untouchable, meticulously curated darling of the fashion world. He's built his empire on control, on an image so precise and polished that not even the most vicious tabloids have managed to crack it. Until now, and I'm the crack. My stomach twists. He's not worried about the press. He's worried about me. Because this isn't about his reputation. It's about mine too. I'm not some model or industry socialite used to navigating scandals. I'm just his assistant. I'm nobody in their eyes. And that means they'll tear me apart without hesitation. I swallow hard, my pulse hammering. He thinks I'm going to run. And for the first time, I wonder if maybe I should. The next day, the headlines are everywhere. Aubrey Sinclair's mystery lover, fashion's best kept secret? Who is the pretty boy in Aubrey Sinclair's arm? I stare at them for too long, the words blurring together, my stomach twisting into something ugly. Pretty boy, mystery lover, a secret. Is that all I am? I didn't realize Aubrey's in the room until I hear him curse under his breath. I turn, finding him by the doorway, his phone clutched tight in his hand, his expression composed, but barely. "You saw," he says. Not a question. I let out a sharp laugh. "Kind of hard to miss." Aubrey exhales sharply, raking a hand through his hair, his jaw tight. "They'll move on. Give it a week. Something else will distract them." Something else? I shouldn't let it sting, but it does. Right. I toss my phone onto the desk, the motion sharp. "And in the meantime, what? Your PR team buries this, spins it, turns me into some faceless fling that no one remembers a month from now?" His silence tells me everything. I shake my head, my chest tight. "You're already trying to make me disappear, aren't they?" "A cleanup is necessary," he says carefully, like he's picking each word with tweezers. "My company." "Your company," I echo, heat rising in my voice. "Not you?" He presses his lips together, but I push forward, unable to stop now. "Tell me the truth. Am I just your secret? Will I always be?" His jaw clenches. "You know the risk." His voice is measured, controlled, but I can hear the strain beneath it. "You know what it would cost me." There it is. I let out a bitter laugh, shaking my head. "Yeah, I do." My throat burns as I stare at him, my hands curling into fists, and I can't, I won't be anyone's secret. Not even yours. His flinch is small, almost imperceptible, but I see it. It tells me everything I need to know. Something between us fractures, an invisible thread pulled too tight, finally snapping. The silence is deafening. Then, quietly, too quietly, I ask, "So what happens now?" He doesn't answer. And maybe that's the worst part. Because if he wanted to fight for this, for me, he already would have. A week later, I've been avoiding him. A whole week of unanswered calls, ignored messages, and not stepping foot in that damn office. I figured he'd get the hint. Apparently not. Because when I stepped out of the supermarket, arms full of groceries, he's there. Aubrey, standing right by my building's entrance like some brooding, designer-clad ghost. Black coat buttoned up, hair slightly messier than usual, like he's been running his hands through it too much. Like he's losing it. My stomach flips. I don't slow down, but I should have known better than to think I could walk past him. "Jamie." His voice stops me in my tracks. Low, strained, desperate. I clench my jaw, shifting the grocery bags in my arms. "What are you doing here, Aubrey?" He exhales, stepping closer. "You wouldn't answer me." I scoff. "Yeah, that was kind of the point." He flinches. I almost feel bad. Almost. I move to step around him, but then his hand catches my wrist. Not hard, not forceful, just enough. Enough to make my stupid heart pound. Aubrey looks at me. Really looks at me. And there's something raw in his face. Something bare. "This was never just about the clothes." His voice is quiet, but it hits me like a punch. "It was never just about a fantasy." I swallow hard. "Then what was it about?" His grip tightens. "You." I freeze. Aubrey keeps going, words rushing out like he's been holding them in for too long. "The dresses, the rolls, all of it. It was just an exercise. A way to keep you close, to have you near, to see you." He stops, shakes his head like he's frustrated with himself. "I didn't know how else to." His breath shudders. He looks wrecked. "I wanted you, Jamie. From the beginning, just you." His voice breaks on the last word. "I don't give a damn about the company." His fingers tighten around my wrist like he's afraid I'll slip away. "Or the reputation, or the press. None of it matters. Not like you do." Something inside me cracks, because I believe him. I always believed him. The grocery bag slipped from my arms, hitting the pavement. I don't care. I grab his coat, fist it in my hands, and kiss him. Right there, in the middle of the sidewalk, in the glow of the streetlights, in front of the whole damn city. Aubrey melts into it, hands cupping my face like he's terrified I'll disappear again, like he won't let me. Somewhere in the distance, I hear the snap of cameras. I don't care, neither does he, because this time, we're not pretending. Conclusion. We moved in together a month ago. It still feels surreal, waking up to Aubrey's grumpy morning face, stealing his sweaters, watching him sketch at 2 a.m. like a mad genius. And yeah, he still loves seeing me in lace and silk. The difference now, I love it too. Not because I have to, not because of a paycheck, but because I want to. Because the way he looks at me when I do, it's addictive. Funny how it all started with a ridiculous situation. Me, panicking, running late on my first day. Now, I have him. The best thing in my life. The best part? This is just the beginning. The end. Do you have any unusual fantasies? Tell us in the comments. We listen and we won't judge. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing to become a part of our Rainbow Force and stay wholesome.